Hello, my name is Ilona, and in this video I first want to take a look at the Ukraine. What is the energy in the Ukraine right now? Is there still a lot of things going on? Is it kind of ending there? You know, the thing with Russia, what's going on there. So I'm just going to take a look at the energy of the Ukraine. Let's see. We have the Ten of Wands. Central card is the King of Swords. We have the Seven of Swords in the past. We have the Ace of Swords underneath the King of Swords, and we have the Four of Wands for the future and the King of Pentacles. So that's interesting. This is the Ten of Wands. Tens usually mean the end of something, and it's been weighing heavily on everyone. I do believe that there was more to do than Russia was expecting. Probably more children and more things they encountered they weren't expecting, and I think it's ending. We're reaching the end of this thing that's been going on there. It's being calculated. I do believe that Mr. P is very, how do you say that? Was well aware what he was doing there. So it's very calculating what he did. He really just went for the biolabs and really targeted certain areas. It wasn't about taking over the country. It was really about taking out certain areas, certain labs. So it was a plan. It was very calculated. And I do believe that Mr. P was fully in control of that, except that there were more things that he did not anticipate. But it's now changing. I think we're ending that cycle. We're near the end of this, because we have the Ace of Swords, which is usually a new beginning. I also believe more and more information is coming out. I do believe Russia will come out with even more proof what's been going on there. So I think there will be a certain point in time that the media won't be able to just deny that or ignore it anymore. So I think we're reaching that point. And especially with these cards for the future is actually beautiful cards. Connection, I believe people will be reunited, and I believe the people in Ukraine will be a lot happier after everything is settled and done, because they were really treated poorly for a very long time there in the Ukraine, especially with all the dark influences in the past. We have this card, the Seven of Swords. They were trying to get away with it. I do believe that there were people hiding over there as well under the ground, trying to hold on to things, hoping they could get away with things, but that wasn't going to happen. So they pretty much got caught in the act, so to speak, and they're not going anywhere. So for the near future, we have this beautiful, or the future ahead of the Ukraine is more reconciliation. I've heard that parts of the Ukraine will be parts of Russia again, and I do believe there are parts with a lot of Russian people that want to be, or at least speaking Russian or connected to Russia, that really want to be part of Russia again, and I believe that's going to happen. And this again is also a new way of looking at things, a very practical way of handling things, rebuilding the country, rebuilding it in a completely different way. I'm not sure if the Ukraine as a country will remain, but parts will be, how do you say that, parts will become part of Russia. At least that's what's my understanding of what's going to happen. So this is going to be a very beautiful time. It can still take some time before that will happen. We'll see this energy, but the energy is there of connection, of like-minded people, and really starting to put together initiatives, rebuilding the country, rebuilding completely different systems in a healthy way that will support people instead of really tearing them down. I also want to take a look at the energy of China. What's going on there? I do believe that they've lifted some of the restrictions in Shanghai, if I'm not mistaken. It will be the 1st of June, if I'm not mistaken. But still, what is going on in China? Let's see. We have the Three of Swords, that's the card above. We have the Fool as the central card, that's interesting. the Two of Cups in the past. We have the Five of Cups underneath the Fool. And I'm getting 2 cards here already for the Three of Pentacles and the Sun. This is for the future of China, the energy of the, what will come in, the energies that will come in for China. Well, the Fool is actually a very beautiful card. So that's like a new start, a new beginning. But there is still a lot of old pain. A lot of old pain. And underneath is the Five of Cups. So that's disappointment, sadness, a lot of old pain that will come up that needs to be healed. A lot of things have happened in China. There was a lot of influence from the dark energies that needs cleaning up, that needs to be cleared. So I do believe that a lot of pain is coming up now, so people can start healing, people can start living in a different way than they have before, especially with the Fool, because the Fool is the energy that everything is open, everything is possible. And I do believe that that's necessary in the mind of a lot of Chinese people and people living there, that a lot of things are really possible. I do believe that they've really lived in a very close-minded energy. Like I said, the dark energies, the certain party that was leading China had so much influence and really just corrupted everything. And in China, of course, around the world, but in China it was really, really bad. So there's a lot of sadness. I do believe that also is connected to what's happened under the ground, underneath, with children. I do believe things will come up about that as well. And there will be a completely new energy, more enjoyment. People will be working together. I do feel this practical energy that people start rebuilding this, but it will take time. It doesn't mean that this energy will be there next week, but the energy will come in that people will have more optimism, which is very suitable with this card. The optimism and the spontaneity and things that can happen, being open to new possibilities. I think a lot of people, especially in China, were very closed off. We had that system, of course, with all these points, and it was just horrible. These people have been treated horribly, and they let it happen, so to speak, because let's face it, there were more people that weren't in the party or were not connected to the party than they were actually in the party in control. So they could have taken over, but they didn't, because they're very, how do you say this? Push and keep pushing. So people, at a certain point in time, their spirits get broken. And then they won't stand up anymore. And then they just accept things. They'll be compliant. They'll just do what's being told. And I do believe a lot happened there in China. A lot of people have this energy of, well, we'll just follow along. And I think that is changing now. There's a new energy coming in. 2 beautiful energies, the Sun and the Fool coming in. Things are possible. We can change things. But there is a lot of hurt, a lot of disappointment that need to be dealt with. A lot of pain from the past that need to be dealt with. But it's the future looks bright, and a new way, new energy, more enjoying life and practical, working together, cooperating, working towards like a new way of living. So I do see this as very positive, but still a lot of healing needs to be done in China. I do feel that a lot of dark energies have been taken care of, and I do believe that it's connected to the restrictions as well. In other card readings I got that, of course, the dark energies were behind that, but the white hats were using that as well to take care of certain people. So they use these restrictions. That's basically what they're doing around the world. So these black hats are rolling out their agenda, and the white hats pretty much just turn it around and turn it on themselves. So everything they roll out, they kind of counter, how do you say that, counter move. This is really a chess game. So you can really, of course, some situations are horrific. I do believe that there are a lot of places in China who've been through a lot. So a lot of healing is necessary. But the white hats use these things. They use them to their advantage. I also want to take a look at USA. That's so much information is coming out in the USA about a lot of things. About the WASP things. We have Durham. We have things, of course, about Twitter and social media and how that functions, and so many things are coming out right now. So let's see, what is the energy in the USA? We have the 8 of Cups. We have the 6 of Wands for the central card. We have the 6 of Cups in the past. We have the 8 of Pentacles underneath the 6 of Cups, and we have the 6 of Swords. That's interesting. We've got 3 sixes and the Magician. So we have the 6 of Wands as the central card. Well, that's the card of victory. So I do believe things will be recognized. I think there's going to be recognition for things that are coming out. Like I said, with Durham, a lot of things are coming out, and I do believe that will have an effect. They're still working on the voting things and everything connecting to the voting. More and more things are coming out about that. I even saw some information about the shooting, and people are really... So much is coming out now about what's really going on, what the real agenda is of the dark energies, and I truly believe that they were behind these shootings. I believe these, the people that are committing these crimes are MK Ultra. They are used for this. Most of them, if I'm not mistaken, all of them that have committed shootings were using some kind of substance for their mental health. So we should really look into that as well. But I do believe things like that are coming out. They cannot repress that anymore. I do believe that there will be like a victory, so to speak, in a way that things are coming out, more truths are coming out. Leaving behind the old situation. I think this card already showed up in another card reading in the USA. So this is really about moving away what's going on right now. A lot of people do not want this anymore. Of course, the prices, everything is just it's just a mess. And I think people are starting to realize that now. More and more people are waking up and are like, yeah, we're leaving this behind. Interesting enough, there's also the leaving card in the future. So they are really moving away from these old systems, all these bankrupt, corrupt old systems that are just falling apart. A lot of work needs to be done. So I do believe that we're going to see more and more things happening. I do believe that this probably is a sign for the whiteheads that they are coming forward more and more. So we're going to see more whitehead actions in the media coming out. I think most of the things they've done, it's kept quiet. Of course, the media and the dark energies were keeping their mouths shut about that. But it's coming out now. More and more things are shown, and we can just see how much work they've really done. If you just imagine the scale of this spiritual war we're in, it's just immense. So all the things that are happening, all the things that need to be done, and all the things that are put in place, you really have to just look back and think this is just so much. And I think the whiteheads have done this kind of in a way brilliantly. And I understand there are people in horrible situations. I am not denying that. But if the whiteheads weren't there, I think we would be now in really horrific situation. We would all be stuck at home waiting for the mandatory wasp sting. There was no getting around that. And I think we already had the cards and we had to use, and there was no way we could see things on the internet anymore. We would have just been completely surrendered, or just completely, how do you say that? Let's just say we would be in the hands of the dark energies, and they pretty much could do whatever they wanted. That was their plan all along. And if it wasn't for the whiteheads, we would be in serious situations right now. So let's see for the near future, or the future, moving away, new direction, and really about empowering yourself. That's what the Magician is. It's about manifesting, having everything to manifest something completely new, something completely different. So I do notice in all these countries I'm talking about now in this card reading, things are changing. There's a new energy coming in, a completely different way of looking at things. So I hope of course, I don't know the time period. It could still be months. I just don't know. I hope it's weeks, to be very honest. that things will happen, but we just don't know yet. I don't believe this is going to take years, and I'm just talking about truths coming out. Of course, we are going to get in a very chaotic period when things are really coming out. So I'm talking about the time that truths are really coming out, and the people, whether they like it or not, that are still asleep will know, or at least hear about what's really been going on. Then we were going to get a chaotic period, because there will be a lot of people that won't be able to handle the truth. So when I'm talking about things changing, I'm talking about that everything is then out in the open. The dark energies won't be able to suppress it anymore, and things will come out, and you will see people, justice served to certain people. That's what I'm talking about. And of course, we have to start rebuilding and changing and really step into our own power and start manifesting consciously, like with what do we really want to manifest in this world, because that's so important. We are manifesting right now, but we're still programmed or following what the dark energies want us to manifest. You have to understand that they're hijacking our energies. They do that by showing us news, the media. So a lot of people asleep are manifesting their fears. They're manifesting what they see on the television. They're manifesting what that must be true. So they're sending out their energy unconsciously, because they're not aware that they're manifesting. But that's how the dark energies take the energy of the people that are completely unaware and use it for their own agenda. They plant ideas, they program you, so you start manifesting. We are manifestors, so where we focus our energy on, we start manifesting. So if we focus it on wars, if we focus on shortages, if we focus it on, oh, we're going to have money problems, oh, we won't be able to buy everything, oh, we're going to have problems with this, we're going to have, then we will start to manifest that, because that's where our focus is. That's really what we are sending out in our energies, and that's really what they use against us. That's why it's so important that we start to step into our own power, start understanding where we focus on. If we have shadow work, we need to clear up. So important to clear up that shadow work energies that we still haven't faced yet, that maybe things from our past, maybe traumas, pain, fear, anger, whatever, anything that they can manipulate. We need to face ourselves. We need to transform in ourselves that energy, so we can use it to start manifesting what we truly want. That's what we are supposed to be doing here. So it's not a thing like, well, the white hats are taking care of everything. Oh, we can just relax and sit back and see what's going to happen. We have to step up as humanity. We need to step into our power. We need to start looking at our energy and really become aware of what we manifest, where we focus our energies on, what is still holding us back, and start transforming that. Now, I want to leave it at this and hope to see you in another video. Bye.